Hello, I'm going to do a video on how to farm gear in the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm going to go over some tips that I recommend if you're looking to farm specific gear sets in the game. If you want to get your sticker book filled, these are some methods that I use that I've learned over the years. As you can see, I've got a fairly full sticker book. So I have learned some tricks on how to farm specific areas and set pieces to kind of speed things up and make sure that you maximize your time when in trying to obtain gear sets. So let's get into it. For overland sets, these are different than dungeon and PvP and trial areas. Overland pieces you can get in a various different areas of the area. You can get the waist and feet pieces from delve bosses. The world bosses will drop head, chest, legs, weapons, and jewelry pieces. And then the public dungeons will drop the shoulders, hands, and weapons. And now these are from the bosses of those respective areas. And then if you're trying to get uh, the dolmens, will drop the jewelry. If there's no dolmens in an area, just farm the world bosses, and they should drop a curative drop for you. But if you are sitting at a world boss and you're finding that you, for example, are missing a waist piece, then that means you've got to go kill a delve boss buff. You're not going to get a waist piece to drop from a world boss unless they change that in the future. But that's one thing you have to remember. The waist and feet comes from the delve, and the shoulders and the hands come from the public dungeon. So you want to make sure that you're not just sitting and farming a world boss if you're missing those two types of uh, areas there. When it comes to dungeons and trials, obviously you're going to get a curative drop from the final boss, but um, it's a lot better to farm in a group with people because then you can pass pieces around within your group. That, and now this goes with Overland as well, obviously. But you always want to try and get some guildies or friends together to go farm a set with you because they could possibly get a set that they already have, a set piece they already have. They could pass it to you, and therefore speed up your farm. The other thing is, I would recommend in regards to a dungeon or a trial, is try to run all your characters through each of the trials because you get uh, coffers for doing the mission in a dungeon, for example. And then as far as trials go, you can do these once a week. It's not a do it one and you're done like dungeons are. You can do them once a week with a character in trials, and you'll get that rewards coffer at the end. Um, Now, they're not always curated drops for dungeons, for example, but it is a chance you could get a unique piece there as well. And if another thing regarding dungeons and trials, I recommend that you complete the dungeon and or trial on veteran difficulty if you can, because when you do this, the chests that are in the trial or dungeon are no longer going to be simple. They actually start at an intermediate level and above. So you have a much higher chance of obtaining a piece of gear from a chest. Now, the caveat to this is obviously that uh, perfected gear will not drop in a chest piece, or excuse me, a chest. It's only the standard gear. However, for the dungeons, you'll have a better chance of getting gear out of a chest. In regards to a PvP area, I would recommend buying your pieces out of Imperial City, for example. If there's a set that you want to use or try or obtain, I would recommend going hunting for the wandering horrors like the Nunatucks and the Zol the Ever Wakeful, those guys, and try and kill those away from anybody else. That way you get to maximize your Telvar that you obtain. And then once you get Telvar, you can purchase the coffers from a vendor. Uh, there's a vendor in the Imperial City that is near the other vendors. That they have gearboxes there that you can buy. Now, if you've not gotten very many of the pieces at all in your sticker book, there is an uncurated box that's much cheaper. You could start off by buying those to kind of get your sticker book going, and then once you kind of fill it in, you can buy the more curated ones that are more expensive to finish it off if that's something you want to do. Um, but the Imperial City pieces are a little bit of a pain because about the only other way you can do it is you can buy it from traders, obviously. If you can find them on traders for a decent price, that would definitely be an easy way to go. But you can go farming in the sewers and try to get kill trove scamps, excuse me, and they will drop them as well. As far as Cyrodiil goes, there's a numerous ways you can get gear sets. You can get them from the rewards of the worthy. Those sets that drop out of there are the newer sets, and they don't drop in any other area. You can buy the coffers from the vendor at the bases. Those are available, but the rewards of the worthy pieces will drop quite frequently when you're doing tasks in Cyrodiil, taking keeps and all that, earning AP, and then you get them in your mail. Completing Dolmens in Cyrodiil will drop jewelry pieces. Now, depending on which area that you are in Cyrodiil, for example, let me just pull up my map here. If you are in the northern area, which I always refer to this as the Daggerfall area, this is where all the medium sets drop. So if you get into a delve, for example, this delve right here, if you go in and kill the delve bosses in here, they are going to give you medium armor sets. Or if you do a dolmen in this area, it's going to give you jewelry from the medium armor sets. Now the other thing is you can do missions from Bruma, and there's also a vendor that you can buy boxes with AP in this town. All of those will be correlated to medium armor. So anything in this zone, Dolmen, Delve, and then missions in Bruma, and then the vendor in Bruma, all relate to medium armor. Now, when you go to the Aldmeri area, which is, I refer to this as down here in this western side, and including the Velastris area, these drop the light armor sets. So the medium is up here, the light is here, and then the heavy is on this side. So if you want to try and remember that, just start from here, go light, up to medium, and over to heavy. Now, I would recommend that I know there are vendors that you can buy boxes here at the bases. You don't want to do that. These are more expensive. If you go to the towns, they have these same exact boxes. I believe, for example, the ones here at the base are 20,000 AP, and if you buy them in the towns, they're only 12,000. So you save 8,000 AP per box by just get on a, like, for example, this map is mostly red. So get on a red character and transport down to Cropsford, for example, if you're looking for a heavy armor set, and buy the coffers at the town. Don't buy them at the base. They're much more expensive. The town's missions, you can do a limited amount of those per day, but you can earn gear pieces by doing that. The delve bosses are a good method of doing that because there's usually not a whole lot of traffic in delves, and so if you're not really into PvP, kind of like me, I don't enjoy PvP that much, and so there's just not a whole lot of people usually in there, so you can kind of farm those uninterrupted for the most part. There is a chance that people will come in there to get their Del Boss buff as well, or if they're trying to also farm stuff. It does happen, but it's very slim. So Battlegrounds, I'm not really into Battlegrounds that much, but you can buy the gear from traders, or you can just play the Battlegrounds, and then there's also um, the vendor you can get gear pieces from as well. They sell coffers just like in Cyrodiil for AP. The stickler, the pain in the butt out of this whole area or whole game is definitely the Infinite Archive. Now this one's tricky. I'm going to actually travel into Infinite Archive to explain this because it's something that not a lot of people are aware of. But when you go into the Infinite Archive and you do a round all the way up to Thoat, whatever class that you are on, for example, I'm on a Dragon Knight right now. If I did not have a full sticker book, when I get to Thoat, the Dragon Knight class sets are going to drop for me until I fill that in. Now, why is that important? Well, if you're wanting to, for example, farm the Corpse Burster set for Necromancer, which is a really good set, then you're going to have to do one of two things. You're either going to have to farm Infinite Archive on a Necromancer, or you can do the second option, which I often do, is what I would recommend is, for example, let's say you wanted the Templar set, Etheric Lancer. This is a pretty good set for DPS. You could run Infinite Archive on your Templar. And as you build up AP by doing the Archive, you can come over here to, there's two main areas for vendors when you're in the lobby. There's the vendor that's over here, and you want to look for this little ramp that gets built. The other weekly vendor over there that changes out is in front of this big green panel thing. But this one here that's kind of in this little hut, there's a couple of vendors here. There's this one here that's the main Infinite Archive vendor that sells the coffers for provisionings, and then they have the style pages here, and then they also have some furnishings and overall account unlocks here. But then there's this other little vendor here. This vendor sells armor set coffers. Now they have the curated ones, and then they have the uncurated ones. So I would recommend, for example, if you're going to get on a Templar to farm this set, but you also want the Necromancer Corpse Burster set, you're going to want to farm on the Templar. You'll get the Templar pieces, and then you can come over here to this vendor and spend your Archival Fortunes, and then you can come in here and buy the Corpse Burster set right here. Now, again, very similar to the curated boxes in Imperial City and in anywhere else. You want to start with the blue ones because they're cheaper. If you don't have any of the set, then you're going to get a very high probability that all of your coffers are going to be new pieces for your sticker book. Once you start filling it in, rather than buying these up here, I would recommend that you then switch to a different setup. What you'd want to do at that point is then get on your Necromancer and farm the set down all the way to where you finished it off, and then start buying coffers for a different class that you're wanting to work on. And that's how I filled my sticker book up quite fast, is by buying coffers with the characters that I wasn't actually running it on. And so that's the easy way to fill up the Infinite Archive sets. But this is my recommendation on how to fill gear in the Elder Scrolls Online. Again, just a reminder, just check traders. Don't get too crazy on spending a lot of money on traders for gear set pieces. Overland gear, especially, is not difficult to find. And then once you do a little bit of research, for example, where specific gear pieces drop in Cyrodiil, it's not really that hard to go farm a specific set. You may get to the point where you're only missing like maybe two or three, and you can go find those on traders. But don't spend a lot of gold on traders on gear pieces when these things are really easy to go farm once you know what the system is involved in getting these gear pieces. But for example, dungeons, I'm in the process of farming the two new dungeons. Take all your new characters on normal. It doesn't have to be vet. Um, as you can see, I've only ran this on vet one time. Just haven't really spent the time on doing it on vet. But I've filled in my sticker book quite a bit because I'm in the process of taking all my characters through there and getting that skill point in the reward box for doing it. And that can help you speed up running the dungeons and filling in your sticker book. You never know when any of these gear sets are going to get adjusted, when they're going to become more usable based on what they do with the game. It's always a good idea to fill up your sticker book as much as you can so that you've got a wide range of choices to use and implement. But that's my recommendation for set farming. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my channel for other topics. I've got several wide range videos on a lot of different things for the Elder Scrolls Online. Take a look at it, see if there's anything else that I can help you out with. Thank you for watching.